So I hit a little road bump. I haven't posted in a couple of weeks because I was stuck. And maybe not as necessarily stuck as backslid. Um, so the whole purpose of this is Joe's Joyful Journeys is showing how I'm trying to find joy in the journey and going from being me to being retired early, living in a foreign country, learning a foreign language, downsizing, doing all that stuff with joy. And I missed a component. So the last time I posted, I was about to go get the business registered, all that sort of stuff, and I did. And about 2 days later, I backslid, and I backslid bad into my old ways, which are I will get the job done at any cost. Very focus driven. But I was all about the end result of all of a sudden I had this opportunity for a business to bring me joy, and somehow I put that aside and threw that aside, and instead I took this to a whole different level and decided it needed to be a business that would make me be successful and make money, and be successful because it made money, not because it brought me joy. I missed the mark a lot. I wasn't even on the target. So what do we do when this happens? You ever been somewhere that you haven't been in a long time? Been to a city, been to a park, somewhere that you haven't been in a long time, and all of a sudden you're walking around and you're reminiscing, and all of a sudden nothing looks familiar, and you realize that somewhere you took a wrong turn. What do? You go back to the last place that you recognize. And so the last couple of days I've been thinking about it a lot, and I had to go back to the last place I recognized, which was a couple of days after my last posting, when I realized I derailed. And so we've kind of torn everything back. I've been painting like crazy, and it's been very stressful because there's been no joy in it, and it's been no joy in it because I've been painting for the wrong reasons. I like to paint things that bring me joy, but all of a sudden, in this need to be financially successful, I decided that I needed to paint what other people might like, what might be commercial, not what I would like. So I backed up, torn things back to the start, and today I got rid of a lot of paintings that they weren't bad paintings, they just brought me no joy. And I don't have time for that in my life. I don't have time to paint things that don't bring me joy in my life. So they're gone. And now we're going to move forward. And I'm going to try and do a better self-check and a more frequent self-check of what's bringing me joy and what's not. And this business, it doesn't need to be a financial drain on me, but it doesn't have to be a huge financial success in order for me to enjoy it. And I need to get my head around that. Hey, so I'm in Nora's barn. Been in here for a couple of hours, so yeah, no makeup on, pretty sweaty. She has a gazebo exactly the same size as the one we have. So what we're doing is we're setting everything up in here to see how it looks and also how it goes together. And hopefully that will make the whole process of when we have to set it up on show day a lot easier. The other thing that we're trying to do is One, make sure everything fits. One, make sure I know where everything is, and then we can Tetris it into the car. But for right now, we're just trying to get it together and see how that works. So that's the plan. Is I've been practicing. I've got all the curtains hooked together the way I want them, I think, on one cable. So pretty sure this should just go pretty smoothly. All right, we're gonna put it on time lapse and see how it looks. Okay, so the sign on the left, that was from Hobby Lobby. It's just a chalk board, and I got some chalk paints to do the sign on it. There's a different sign on both sides. Then moving in a little bit, you will see the wooden frames. They're actually the edges of some of our old shelving units that we pulled out of the old house from the bar. So we reuse those, and I love reusing this stuff. That saved us a lot of money. Basically, just drilled holes in and put those little clips on them. Ended up having to put some elastic bands because they were heavy. So the vintage cards are all pictures of my family, and I love that because I felt like they were with me. My mom, my dad, another one of those edges of the shelving units, and then over to the other side of the booth. And now we have some of the crates. Just painted them in the same colors as the curtains, so give them that beachy feel. And then I found some crates which actually had beachy written on them, so that was even better. The things behind the paintings to help them stand up, used a plethora of different things, but mainly there was those canvas painting boards, and I just covered them in black or spray painted in black and put them behind, and I was really pleased with that. Okay, it's a little after 8 o'clock in the morning on the first show, and honestly, I am absolutely terrified. That completely forgot to really get video of putting up the booth. Took twice as long as it did in Nora's farm, probably because it's not a controlled environment. Even though I had the boys helping, maybe because I had the boys helping. But it's done, it's up, we're ready to go. Let's see what happens. I am so glad that I spent the time, and I really enjoyed the process of picking the curtains and putting them up. And as the breeze came through during the day, the curtains almost like made the booth breathe. The curtains would gently blow in and blow out. And yes, it might have made it a little stuffier in there because there was a little less airflow, but it totally brought me joy. And it totally gave me a very joyful, beachy, relaxed feeling, even when I might usually have been more stressed. So it was totally worth it. Huge thank you to Sean and Little Sean's girlfriend Mary for all their help, especially in the morning, toting everything out. And then to my wonderful
neighbor who is not my neighbor anymore, but she will always be my neighbor in my heart, Nora, for the use of her barn and for coming out and being such a support in the afternoon. I really appreciate you. Love you guys. Bye. So as a whole, I think this first show was a great success. Not only did I sell some paintings, get a little affirmation as an artist, but I also made back my entry fee, and I paid for a considerable amount of the setup of the stuff that I got to make it look the way I wanted it to look, which was not really very cheap. So I'm very excited about that. I was very, very tired afterwards, but I'm so glad I did it. I definitely found the joy in it. Occasionally I would lose it, and then I would remember why I was there, and I remember the things that bring me joy, and I would just refocus my efforts, take a step back, refind it, and move on. And just had an absolutely great day. Absolutely loved it. Doing it again in 2 weeks, and I don't know if I'm going to videotape that or not. We'll see. So, from Joe's Joyful Journeys. I'm not doing the Joy-O-Meter today just because the whole thing has kind of been Joy-O-Meter. Losing it and finding it again has been one big overwhelming Joy-O-Meter. So I hope you have a blessed day, and I hope to see you again soon.